Everyone wants more money, but most of us weren't taught how to create an abundant life. That's where the More Money Show comes in. If you're ready to have more money, create more freedom, and experience more fun, turn the volume up. It's time to learn how to create the prosperity and life you have been dreaming of. Here's your host, Cassie Parks.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of the More Money Show. I have Maggie McReynolds with me, and I'm super excited to talk to her. This is the first of her interviews in the Year of Growth series. If you've listened to the More Money Show for a while, you've heard Maggie before and her Manifest 10K story where she manifested $20,000, more time and more freedom. And she's here growing, and I'm super excited to talk to her. Thanks for being here, Maggie.
Thanks, Cassie. It's always great to be here with you.
Oh, so much fun. So tell me what's awesome right now.
What's awesome right now? With your help and guidance in the Manifest 10K program, I'm starting my own business. I've run my own business before, but this is a new iteration of my coaching practice, and it's going very well, and I'm very excited. And the mindset I bring to it has made all the difference.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, tell us, because I know that's awesome and you're excited about that. Tell us what your business and your movement is.
Based on my first book and my second one that's in production, my business is called Unsettling, with a hyphen, settling. And it's for fed up women who are ready to stop settling for whatever hand they perceive they've been dealt and are ready to step into creating the lives they actually want. So financial, social, and emotional independence, whatever that looks like for them.
Awesome. I love it. So will you just give kind of an overview, because I like people to have this information about what is it like, or our process of working together?
Oh, absolutely. So I first started working with Cassie, I'm going to say about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And that seems like a long time. And it's also like, wow, so much has happened during that time. So I was working in sort of a toxic job at the time that I met Cassie. And like, I would say only like a month into the Manifest 10K program, I'd already manifested 20, which came in the form of a job offer with, a big salary bump.
Yeah.
So that was very exciting.
She just said 20. She meant 20,000.
Yeah. What did I just say? 20?
20. Yeah. And I get what you're saying, but listeners might be like, oh, that's cool. 20.
Yeah, $20.
Yeah.
$20,000. And it really didn't stop there. During the whole period that I had that job, there were all kinds of amazing things that came into my life. I wrote a book and earned royalties from that. I got to be part of a fancy schmancy photo shoot and get this amazing experience at a castle. I got gifted with a trip to Scotland to stay at yet another castle. And, it really just kept on rolling. And when it came time for me to move on and step into, not necessarily working for someone else, but creating the coaching practice and the movement and online community from my book, I knew I needed Cassie again for sure in my corner. So right away, here I am back in here. And Cassie, I haven't even told you this yet, but I want to say that though it hasn't been completely finalized, because I'm still working with a couple of attorneys on this.
Yeah.
It looks like I've already manifested another 20,000. So
I love that that's your number.
I know, right?
Yeah, right?
I feel like I should just restart this program like every 30 days. And maybe I could just manifest 20K a month.
Right?
Why not?
Exactly. Well, that's what we're going to.
Sure.
We'll get there, right? I love it. And as we bring that up, like I can't wait to hear when that's all finalized in that. But like, I also want to bring up the point that Maggie goes into it and she follows the system, right?
Absolutely. And that's important because I understand manifestation principles. Heck, I even teach them sometimes in part to my clients. Yeah. And yet I get lost and I forget. Or I think in really general terms, like I should just have a better money mindset. And I forget to actually take specific steps. So
Mm-hmm.
Cassie's program is really very manageable, and the prompts are always relevant, and the homework or actions are so doable that you really can't like fail at it. I mean, it's really, really doable. And that's, as a coach myself, I know how important that is. If you can give great homework, but if the clients don't do it, it doesn't get them anywhere. And
Right.
it's easy and it's fun and it's relevant. It doesn't feel like, wow, these are assignments that have nothing to do with me in my life. It's always relevant to what I'm going through. And having gone through a second time now and seeing some of these prompts again, I'm really interested that you'd think I'd just be like, oh, I did this exercise before. I'll just kind of duplicate how I did it last time. But instead it comes up for me in a very fresh way. And I'm doing it differently, and not with the intention of deliberately trying to. It's just I'm in a different place and I'm a little further down the path. And so different ways of action are inspiring to me. And
Absolutely.
a lot of that is due to our work together.
I love it. That's so cool. Will you just, because you said something really important and I like want people to understand that, like, what's the difference between whatever you think it, like, however you would say it, like, I should have a different money mindset and actually sort of taking steps and moving in a conscious direction?
Right. So I think with money, we give it so much power in a way that we almost give nothing else in our lives. It's kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think most of us get that fear or anxiety or staying up all night or crunching the numbers a billion times is not helpful. But we often don't get beyond the general sense of, I know I shouldn't be doing it this way.
Right.
It's like, pounding a box of Twinkies into your mouth while saying, I shouldn't be eating this. I mean, it's like, okay, cool. But along with awareness, how about some actual action steps? So I think what the huge difference for me, and I'm guessing for others in your program, Cassie, is that your specific tasks and actions lay out a really easy path for taking that step from awareness to action.
Mm-hmm.
Like, awareness is super, super cool, but without action, it's just something to beat yourself up over.
Yeah.
I should, and I ought to. Yeah, I know I really shouldn't be, but I am.
Yeah. Well, and I think one of those reasons is because often people don't know what to do. Right?
Well,
Like, I shouldn't
right.
be up worrying, but what should I do?
Or yeah, I should stop that worrying. That's what I should do. I should just stop that worrying. It's like, okay, don't think of the word banana for the next 10 minutes. Good luck.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I love that. So I want to talk about, because Maggie jumped in, and I always have, this is available to everybody, the Change Your Money Story Challenge. But if somebody joins my program and they haven't done it, I always say start there, because I think it gives the perfect foundation to go into Manifest 10K.
Mm-hmm.
And so tell us about your experience, ahas, and what awesome stuff happened in 5 days.
Wow. It's going to be weird to say I don't know if I remember specifically what I manifested. I'm like, yeah, you help me, because I'm like, oh, that I blew past that.
Right. I know. It was a few weeks ago. Yeah.
It was a few weeks ago, and I don't think it took me the full 5 days. And
oh no, it didn't.
But it starts out with manifesting $100, and it's a great place to start, because for most of us, it's just big enough to be exciting.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not so big that it feels like completely out of the question. Like it's an amount that our brains can readily say, oh, okay, I can probably do that. That'll probably happen, and believe it.
Right.
And it's really important to have some small successes, just to kind of retrain your brain. So for me, even though I've worked with you, Cassie, many times before and gone pretty far down a manifestation path, and have manifested fairly big sums,
Yeah.
I still knew I needed that booster of, I need a little win here. I just want a little win.
Yeah.
And it's a great way to recalibrate, especially for people who find themselves kind of regressing, which is what was happening to me, like kind of sliding back down the hole,
Yeah.
It's a great way to just kind of nip that in the bud and go, yeah, no, going to do it this way. And for me, it was an almost immediate payoff.
Yes.
And that was, and I don't even remember what it was made up of, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you do.
I do. We'll talk about it in a second, but I want to
Okay.
talk about another important thing that you said is
Yeah.
that when situations change, right? Like you made this decision to go be your own entrepreneur, right? I mean,
Right.
you'd already been an entrepreneur, but you'd also had a paycheck coming in,
Right.
right? And so when you made the choice, it's me, like that things change, and a lot of times our money stuff creeps back up when things change. Like,
Right.
and so I love that you brought, like, you're kind of sliding back down, because I get that. I mean, that's the whole reason I wrote Manifest 10K, which is originally money, money, money. Is like I'd outlined it 6 months before, but when I quit my job, I was like, yeah, some things are not as they were, right? Because when things shift. And so just thoughts, and that's why I wrote it, because I knew I had to get myself back in the right direction.
Well, right. And, exercising this muscle in your brain, in your spirit, in your soul, wherever you think your heart, wherever you think it lives, and probably all those places, it's like any other kind of practice. I mean, I'm pretty sure, Cassie, that you don't just say to yourself one day, well, I'm all good now. I don't ever have to script. I don't ever have to think about, I'm all good for life because I know this stuff cold. It's an ongoing decision
Yeah.
you make every day, not just you specifically, but me, all of us. And in every moment, we have a choice of what story we're going to choose and what attitude we're going to bring to it. And of course, our outside circumstances can cause us to wobble a little bit. Into every life, some BS must fall. And we're humans. We have responses to that. So it's not about, oh, woe me, this terrible thing has happened. It's about, okay, so that happened, and now what? How am I going to respond to that? And which part of myself am I going to bring to that response? And,
Absolutely.
I choose every day, and sometimes moment by moment when it feels hard, to choose the part of me that believes absolutely in my power, in the generosity of the universe, and in good things coming my way. And as a result, they do. Somebody just asked me that on Facebook the other day, because I don't know, I was reeling off a few little things, got this discount at the store, and then somebody bought me lunch, and then this other little thing happened, weird little $4 check. That was one of the things, the $100. And they were like, well, how do you do that? Because I want to believe, And I said, well, for me, it's just being open to what else is possible. Like, so that's the price of that? Cool. What else is possible? And I might verbalize that to a store clerk, and I might not. I might just have that in my head.
Yeah.
But that's my come from, no matter what I'm doing, whether I'm paying for something or whether I'm wanting to manifest something or whether I'm trying to attract clients or experiences or whatever it is in my life, what else is possible is my basic come from. And I think that's super key.
Yeah. And I think there's a key that's before that, is actually acknowledging that when things are going right. I think that's what you jump in and you do really well. When you jump back into Change Your Money Story Challenge, when you jump back into Manifest 10K, like there's this thing about sharing, and some people are like, oh, it's not big enough. It's not this. Like, you're willing to share, you're willing to acknowledge. And that's what creates the momentum, because you can't even get to, your favorite question, what else is possible, if you don't acknowledge something awesome happened.
Well, and this is my personal experience. It won't necessarily be common to anyone else. A few people I loved died when I was pretty young, and I inherited money episodically throughout my childhood and young adulthood. And it was never like retire and go buy an island sums of money, but it was not insignificant either. And I found that I had a lot of ideas for the universe about how money should come to me and how it shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want any more people to die, so it can't come to me that way.
Right.
And I don't want any harm to come to anybody else on the planet. So nothing that might ever have an adverse effect on any being, including insects. I mean, I just had all these rules. And this time around on Manifest 10K in particular, I'm really I am letting go of, me being the boss of the universe, which is crazy. Like, even if I could be, I really don't want that responsibility.
Right.
And just going, okay, so I'm just going to put it out there and I'm going to trust that how it comes is how it comes.
Yeah. Which is awesome.
Yeah.
So during the Change Your Money Story Challenge, you did have your biggest day ever in your business.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that.
I know, right?
I did. Yeah. I sold like $2,500 in like an hour or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I love, because in the beginning of the challenge, it was like, okay, I got $25 like the first day. I'm going to let go of how the other 75 is going to come in. And like 4 days later, you're like, I got 25 times. Does that count? Like, absolutely.
I know. There was this little part of me that almost was like, oops, I manifested too much.
Oh,
Maybe I broke the rules. It's like, that's the gig. There are no rules.
There are no rules. And that's an interesting thing. Hopefully you don't mind I bring up this conversation. We had a conversation in, actually in Manifest 10K about that. You're like, but I didn't do it right. I'm like, there isn't a right way. I don't have a specific, I don't and you're not the only person who thinks that, right? Everybody thinks certain exercises are supposed to go as, like, I have this agenda of how it's supposed to come up. And we had a conversation. I said, there's no right way, like, just it's about what comes out of the assignment that matters. And so you talk about that and letting go of the rules and
yeah. Well, I think a lot of us women especially are kind of recovering good girls who, if we were going to be good, there were a lot of supposed rules we felt we had to follow in order to earn that title. Mm-hmm. And be liked and be, be smart and be admired and be at the head of the class or whatever it was. And it's radical to drop this concept of being good and doing it right and playing it by the rules and being obedient. What it ultimately comes down to is pleasing something or someone. Mm-hmm. And I certainly had, occasionally still do, but I can catch it now. Mm-hmm. A lot of concern around being approved of, being liked, doing it right. And I wanted to be like kind of patted on the head for doing it right too. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm used to that being my reward. That's what we're, my gold star for doing it right, And, I think that's deeply ingrained in us, even as early as preschool or kindergarten, that, I remember a preschool teacher criticizing my finger painted pumpkin because I'd put ears on it. Mm-hmm. It's like, why couldn't my pumpkin have ears? I mean, why can't I manifest money as long as I get the outcome? What the heck,
Yeah. So personally hearing, like, there's no right way, there are no rules. Yeah. Like, what did that open up for you? And I would love to hear, like, how did that change the pat on the head? Like, what's the reward now?
Oh, the reward now is honest, like almost full belly laugh, soul delight. Mm-hmm. I mean, when something manifests for me, I don't think, it's not that it's funny, but I often do laugh because it just seems delightful to me. Mm-hmm. And, and what's even better is that no rules means that, getting $2 off on something at the supermarket just because someone offered to discount it for me out of the blue is just as delightful to me in the moment, truly, as something with a much bigger impact. Mm-hmm. So what if I got $2 off some cupcakes? Right. In the grand scheme of things, that's not a big deal. But because I'm approaching it with, I'm going to say, almost not childish, but childlike enthusiasm. You can give a kid a nickel, you can give a kid $100 bill, you can give a kid a rock, and they're going to be like, whoa, so cool. Yeah. And I think when we can tap into that, like, whoa, just so cool. For me, it's very freeing, and it seems to increase the rate of manifestation.
Absolutely.
It takes every wish to have a gold star, every thought that it should go one way or another is just a little bit more pressure on the brake.
Yeah.
So I might not have the brake all the way to the floor. So I haven't stopped myself to a halt, but I'm slowing myself down with caution.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tapping the brake with every little, oh, but wait, oh, but wait, oh, but wait. Once I get my foot off that brake, and that's what letting go of rules and gold stars and pats on the head is for me, then it's just smooth sailing. And
Right.
then it's delightful. Just
So
like
much more fun.
finding a fuzzy caterpillar and thinking, wow, that's really awesome when you were 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think what you said too is like, it is the moment. First of all, it lets the foot off the brake. It builds momentum when you acknowledge those. I got $2 off cupcakes. I had the perfect timing for that, right? And celebrate that. And what you said is like in the moment.
Right.
And we have lots of moments, but if we're constantly waiting, like we have more moments, if we're waiting to celebrate only $20,000 in one single moment, like we're passing up a lot of moments
Right.
to be present to the abundance that's coming in moment by moment.
Well, I think some people, and you see this in the group, and I experienced it myself early on. It's interesting how we want to kind of shoot ourselves in the foot by telling ourselves all the ways that whatever we manifested doesn't really count.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really count because someone died and left me the money, or it doesn't really count because I earned that money, or it doesn't really count because it wasn't big enough, or it doesn't really count because I did it in some weird way, or it doesn't really count because someone repaid me something that I already knew they owed me. It's interesting that we resist delight in some ways. We're scared.
Mm-hmm. Or we
We're really armored up.
Yeah.
And it can feel frightening to just let go of that and go, just celebrate all of it. All of it's amazing. All of it's amazing. Life is amazing. It really is.
It is. I know that's a big one. I think that's like day 2 or 3 on the challenge. And it always gets the big ahas like, oh, I don't have to justify that I got this. I don't have to like say this, which is so awesome.
Right. Right.
Yeah. I love it. So what's your biggest lesson or aha, would you say, so far? I mean, we're about maybe a month into working together this time.
This time around.
Mm-hmm.
Honest to God, my biggest aha is that this is always available to me. I mean, I almost see it as like a lane that's running alongside me on the highway. And like at any moment, I can choose to merge into that or not. And in the times when we haven't been working together, which granted have been relatively few, but, but there have been times when we have not been directly working together.
Right.
And it's like I forget that lane is there and that all that is still running parallel alongside me. I can take one step into that anytime.
Yeah.
It doesn't require even that I see it in order for it to exist. It's there. And the biggest aha for me is that it is just like riding a bicycle in the best of all possible ways. It's easier than riding a bicycle. You can just pick right back up, and you don't have to have stories about why you resisted for a while or why you wobbled or why you forgot, or there's Cassie, you work a lot with, let's not go into what used to be and what happened back then, and what your terrible story was, and let's just stop that.
Yeah.
And I think for me, the most freeing part has been, oh, cool, I can just jump back into that lane. Like I never left. And that's a choice available to me every moment.
Yes. Oh, I love that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to as we work together over the next year?
More, again, bigger.
Yes.
because that's the thing about realizing that whether it's $2 off cupcakes or it's $20,000, that it's all the same energetic level of delight.
Yeah.
That if $2 is the same amount of joy as $20,000, then it's the same amount of joy as $200,000 or $2 million. And if you can do one, if you can manifest one, you can manifest. I mean, the only limits are the limits that we impose on ourselves.
Right.
The universe isn't going, well, okay, I'll give you this much. Not anymore, though.
Yes,
The
right?
universe isn't doling it out of a wallet that's finite,
Mm-hmm.
and your share is only X amount.
Yeah.
There's unlimited money. There's unlimited money, and each of our shares is equally infinite.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't wait to see how big I can go.
I love it. I'm so excited. So
Yeah.
tell everybody where they can connect with you if they want more information on unsettling.
You can find me at iamunsettling.com.
Love it.
And I am. And so can you be.
And where can they find your book?
Oh, it's available on Amazon. It is called Unsettling: How to Help Your Kids by Making and Modeling an Amazing Life After Divorce.
I love it. So
If you just
exciting.
Google Unsettling and my name, Maggie McReynolds, it will come up.
Perfect. Any other things you want to share as we wrap up interview number 1?
I don't know if I don't know if this is a Cassie endorsed thing to say. Here I am worried about doing it right. Whatever Cassie suggests as an investment, just do it. The ROI is like 1,000,000% on this. Just do it. It's
Right. Cool. I love that. I was like not sure where that was going to go after that.
I know.
It is, right? And what I love is that you go in, like when you expect an ROI, you get an ROI, right? And it's all about how we go into things. If we go in and we're like, I don't know, right?
I hope I just break even.
Right. Like that's,
Right.
yeah, you're probably going to not break even.
Right.
But right, when we go in and like, this is going to be the best investment I've ever made, like then that happens and it's awesome.
Yeah.
So fun. Well, thank you for being here. I'm looking forward to being part of your journey and being able to share your journey to inspire others. So thank you so much. And we will, everybody, you can, the links are on the page for Maggie's website, iamunsettling.com. Just type it into Amazon and you can find it if you'd like to grab her book. And she'll be back soon. Make sure to listen to the next interview next week on the Year of Growth series. Thank you so much. And if you want to check out the Enchanted Circle, you can just go to cassieparks.com.
Thank you for joining us on The More Money Show. To learn the step-by-step process to welcome more money into your life, go to manifest10k.com.